kind of ambled in to spend a few minutes with us here on the morning show. I'm delighted to have him because, you know, he's got a late night show. He hasn't been on morning. Incidentally, welcome back to morning television.
Thank you very much.
David Letterman, everybody.
Oh, stop it. No. It's a sham, this cosmetic subterfuge. Now, this woman up there, you're upset with me being here, aren't you?
No.
What is your name?
My name is Anita.
Anita.
I have tickets to go see your show, and I said I was coming here figuring to see other people.
Oh, great.
I want to see you soon, but I don't mind seeing you twice.
Oh, that's very thoughtful of you. Thank you very much. And I understand
she's
been whining like this all morning.
Yes, something about, yeah.
And I'm sorry, Anita. Nice meeting you. I'm a little grumpy from the drive-in. So,
yeah,
but nice meeting you. Yeah. Nice to see you, Anita. She's not going to stop.
Should never have us started with Anita.
Yes, sir.
When I walked out, Anita said the same thing to me. Oh, you're here today? What was the drive-in like? Was it...
The drive-in was surprisingly, it takes me usually about an hour and a half to get in.
Yeah.
And, of course, I live in Michigan.
Yeah, I know.
So
it's a long commute.
Today it was great. Yeah, because of the holiday, nobody coming to work.
That's right.
Yeah, so it was very nice. It's beautiful up there where I live now. Oh, boy, it's lovely.
Now, you lived in the city when you first came to New York and decided to move to the suburbs. And that's been a, continuing controversy in our house, too, whether to live there or here.
Yeah.
But because of my hours, I'm living here.
Yeah, it would be difficult for you to, although, it could be done. I was thinking about you this morning. It really could be done. I got up around 6 and, got in here. Sure.
Oh, my gosh, David, that's a little early for me. Well, why did you move to the country?
Well, we had lived in New York for about 2 years. We lived in, we started out living in a hotel, lived in a car for a while.
Yeah. This is with a couple of dogs,
Yeah,
too.
2 dogs. Yeah. Lived in a lean-to, lived in an apartment. We lived in every possible living place in New York City. And the dogs, it was just hard on the dogs, tough on the dogs, crazy. So we finally ended up moving out where the dogs could have a little room. And they love it,
See what you do for your dogs?
I know, it's crazy. It don't make sense. If you don't have dogs, you don't understand
speaking of the dogs, the last guest appearance you did with Johnny Carson, I told the producer of The Tonight Show you were absolutely brilliant. He told this hilarious story about how he drugged his dog, Bob. Oh, I guess it's a rather large dog.
Yeah.
And the plane was late, and Bob collapsed before you got to the plane.
Right.
So he had to drag Bob through jail.
That's right. Your dog is normally frisky and healthy and happy, and Bob especially loves nothing. He loves 2 things. He loves food and all he can get of it, and he loves people. He just loves going around saying hi to people, with the possible exception of Anita, perhaps. Only a joke, I mean, I'm sure. And then not much of one either, as it turned out. But you load Bob up with the tranquilizers, and suddenly you have yourself a dozing cow. So we were, it was grim dragging him through the airport.
Sure. But you love your dogs, and you love your life here in New York, and you're happy to be here.
Oh, I'm happy to be in New York. It's a very exciting place to work. If you have to pick a place to work, and I guess you do, don't you? Sooner or later.
Sooner or later, it comes down to that. Yeah.
Long about a sophomore in high school, the counselor comes around and says, "All right, it's time to pick a place to work." And I know New York's a great place to work.
Have you been noticing our weatherman, Ira Joe Fisher?
I just met him in the hallway. It's very nice.
Okay, you've seen him, haven't you?
Yeah.
Now, you did some weather in Indianapolis.
Did some weather there,
Was it a funny weathercast?
Well, it wasn't supposed to be, but I had difficulty taking the weather seriously, which you really ought to, because especially when you work your way into the heartland of this great country of ours, which I say because I like the way it sounds. People depend on the weather, agriculturally related fields and so forth, and it was always tough for me. I started very young doing the weather. I was like 21 or so, and I didn't much care.
Still in college?
As a matter of fact, I was still in college.
With a funny weather board, and you drew things and temperatures?
No, we had a lot of magnetic stuff that would periodically drop off, and kind of a cheap operation. But no, Ira's real good at what he does. You're lucky to have him.
Oh, I sure am.
He's still with the company, isn't he?
Yes, I think so, yeah. Now we have a scene from one of your episodes. You know, those crazy things you do. Incidentally, some of them are just absolutely brilliant.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And some, of course, are just crap. But
no. Everything is funny, but some of them are really imaginative. Now we have you and Velcro.
That's right. Now let me explain this to you. I don't like bringing on clips to shows, because I know sometimes when you're hosting a show and somebody drags on a clip, you just think, oh.
I love it.
You do, really?
Sure, absolutely.
What about some of those just awful movies that you know aren't going to make money, and you got to sit through 90 seconds of one of those clips? Do you like them?
That's not so great, but from your show, it's going to be funny. I know that.
All right. Well, forgive me for imposing What's the deal on this guy, by the way?
That's my producer.
Why is he squatting there? Good Lord.
It's an ancient Indian custom.
Strangest sight I've ever seen.
I like my producer to... Some guys like their producers to kneel. I like mine to squat.
That's unbelievable. I've never seen that on an adult in this country. You know what? It looks like he's about ready to get Regis's attention and say, Regis, we have to go to the shelter. Come on. Don't tell Letterman. We're going for cover.
Now, and there he is right there, Michael Catt, squatting in front of us.
Anyway, so this clip. So I'm sorry about the clip. I wish it was more entertaining, and let me just tell you what it is, and then you can, talk about it on the way home if you want. It's, we have some wonderful people working on the show. I'm going to name them because they don't get enough credit. Dan Blair, Kathleen Ankers, Sandy Frank, Joe Toplin, Eric Anthony, and George Drew. Now, the combination of these folks helped put together Fun with Velcro. And they put together this Velcro suit.
Okay.
So what you're going to see is me in the Velcro suit, and I'm just sick about it, believe me.
Okay, fine.
So here it is, me in the Velcro suit.
Let's go
it's
to
not
David
too long.
now.
It's only about 50 seconds. It'll be done.
Now, theoretically, I'll hit the wall and stay there, right?
Yes, theoretically.
Okay.
Go high.
As high as I can go. Okay, continue. There's very little I can do from this position.
Then they had to pry him off. That was funny.
They did have to.
And that was legit.
Yeah.
We're going to come back with David. Put him on the phones, 955-9800. Give us a call, okay? Why should Anita be the only one to talk to him? Okay, we're back
Thanks for
with...
having me on the show. That was very nice.
You're welcome, and thank you for having me twice on your show.
I've enjoyed the program ever since you went on the air.
Oh, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Well,
and I
thank you.
appreciate your offer to be here.
Thanks, David. It's good to have
Can
you
I just
here.
ask, David, how did they get you off the wall? Did they throw cold water on you, or what?
Well, they do that, but that's for a whole different set of circumstances. In this particular case, this Velcro really is the miracle fabric of the 80s, and it really, once you're on there, you're on there. So a couple of burly thugs, not associated with the show, as it turned out, came and pried me off. But I was on there, actually, I could have stayed
That
for
must have been
days.
funny, just, I mean,
It was very
pull you away.
curious feeling, and the suit began to kind of pull, and well, you can guess where it was beginning to pull.
Things you do for your art. All right, good morning. You're on the morning show with David Letterman.
Hi, I wanted to ask David how we get some of the ideas for his show.
Some of the ideas for his show. Well, let's talk about some of the things that you've done and where the ideas come from this team of 6 people.
Well, no, that was I think the core of folks who were involved with the Fun with Velcro, but the ideas come from our writers. Occasionally, if I've had a lot of rest, I'll have an idea.
You
our
contribute a lot.
producer, our director. I want to tell you about an idea. You had Kreskin on a couple of weeks ago with one of these deals. Do you think that was on the level?
I can't figure out how he did it, but we all watched. No? How did he do it?
I don't know how he did it, but it was not as dazzling as what I'm about to tell you
Oh,
we
my
did.
gosh.
We have a psychic named Lev Schneider that we work with. He's formerly
Lev Schneider?
from the Soviet Union, and he defected some years ago, and now he's working around the United States. And he went up against a bloodhound to find something. He went up against electronic surveillance devices to find something. And we wanted him to go up against Kreskin, but Kreskin wouldn't. He said, "Nah, I don't want to do that." But the other night, this
What
man...
was it Lev was looking for?
Well, just whatever, you know. Oh, Bill Wendell, he was looking for...
The bloodhound couldn't find Wendell?
No.
That surprises me.
But so don't you think it'd be great for he and Kreskin to have
Head
this
to
thing?
head.
Yeah, head to
Absolutely. Kreskin will be our guy, and Lev will be
No,
yours.
it's not going to happen. Kreskin won't do it. He's whining about it already. I don't know.
Well, now you've laid down a challenge.
So anyway, but 2 nights ago, I think this was television history, Lev cooked a beef stroganoff for us, and we hid the ingredients around the studio. And through his psychic vibrations, he found the ingredients.
Put the meal back together.
It was unbelievable.
Wow. Lev is all right. I don't think Kreskin could do that.
That's
All right, can we go
fantastic.
to our audience
it was
now.
fantastic.
Question for David.
Yeah, David, I'd like to know, when will there be a Stupid Patrick movie?
A stupid pet tricks movie. Gee. It's an interesting question. Regis, I know you had some thoughts on that.
I love that concept.
I knew that would throw you.
You know, when David took over the show, he had sort of an idol, as we all did, Steve Allen, and especially the Westinghouse show that Steve had, with all the zany, crazy things, and you wanted to make sort of an 1980s version of that insanity, which I think you've done now, through really, things like Stupid Pet Tricks.
We really like the spirit that that particular show always had. Stupid Pet Tricks, to me, is one of the best things we ever came across.
Where do you find these stupid pets?
Well, they're from all over the tri-state area.
And you audition them for the stupidity?
Yeah, a young lady on our show named Sue Hall auditions the folks, and if you have them, we can always use people who have silly little tricks that their dogs do.
Have Bob and Stan ever been on your show?
They've never been on this show. They were on the morning show. They oddly enough, they don't do any. They only do one trick. They when the three of us are eating potato chips, Bob, Stan, and myself, we all sound alike. And if you darkened the room and the three of us were eating potato chips, you couldn't tell who was eating.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, it is wonderful.
Hey, David, we're out of time. But you were just terrific.
Well, thanks again.
I really mean it. Thank you very much for coming by. David Letterman. Leonard Ebor coming up next, and we'll pick the Search for Spock winner.